my song got leaked today, my first single.
I just woke up to Zach posting on his Instagram that we broke up, and I had no idea.
Well, but yeah, I was at the airport, and I got an awful phone call.
Samantha, where were you? No, Austin, what's wrong with you?
Rupert Sanders holds Kristen Stewart around the waist, an intimate moment that went unnoticed at the time.
Foo Fighters lead Dave Grohl is confessing to his secret family with a brand new daughter he's welcoming to his original family.
My parents were in this business when my father cheated on my mother. She had to deal with tabloids. I know how much it hurt her.
Dave Grohl, Brad Pitt, Justin Timberlake, and so many more folks really are the personification of once a cheater, always a cheater. Dave Grohl took to Instagram back in September of this year to admit to cheating on his wife and welcoming an offspring with a named woman. He said, "I've recently become the father of a new daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my family, and I'm doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness." Dave Grohl shares daughters, with his wife, who he married in 2003. This was quite the revelation on the internet. So Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston might be amicable exes now. However, there was a time when things were really ugly between the two. So Brad was accused of cheating on Jennifer with Angelina Jolie, and the rumors proved to be true when he gave an interview to an international outlet, apologizing to his ex-wife. He told Parade magazine, "I spent the 90s trying to hide out, trying to duck the full celebrity cacophony. I started to get sick of myself, sitting on a couch, holding a little something, hiding out. It started feeling pathetic. It became very clear to him that he was intent on trying to find a movie about an interesting life, but he wasn't living an interesting life himself, and he thinks that his marriage had something to do with it, trying to pretend the marriage was something that it wasn't. He's satisfied with making true choices and finding the woman I love, Angie, and building a family that I love so much. A family is a risky venture because the greater the love, the greater the loss. That's the trade-off, but I'll take it." He did apologize to Jennifer Aniston, saying, "It grieves me that this was interpreted this way. Jen is an incredibly giving, loving, and hilarious woman who remains my friend. It is an important relationship I value greatly. The point I was trying to make is not that Jen was dull, but that I was becoming dull to myself, and that I am responsible for." Well, are you responsible for problem 2.0 with Angelina? It's no secret that Tristan Thompson has landed in hot water multiple times for cheating on Khloe Kardashian. He was caught cheating on Khloe just days before she gave birth for the first time, back in 2018, and while the reality star decided to give the professional athlete a second chance for the sake of their daughter, they ultimately split in February of 2019 after he was caught making out with her BFF Jordan Woods at a party in LA. The pair's relationship was further tested in December of 2021 when fitness model Marilee Nichols welcomed son Theo and sued Thompson for support. A paternity test later revealed that indeed he was the father. In 2022, news outlets confirmed that a surrogate was carrying their second offspring when news of the paternity scandal broke. And another insider was like, "Yeah, they haven't spoken since December outside of co-parenting matters," and they welcomed their second offspring while estranged. In July of 2012, paparazzi photos of Kristen Stewart, who was dating Twilight co-star Robert Pattinson at the time, kissing director Rupert Sanders, were published by news outlets. The actress released a statement shortly afterwards saying she was deeply sorry for the hurt and embarrassment she caused to those close to her and everyone it affected. That momentary indiscretion jeopardized the most important thing in her life, the person she loved and respected the most, Rob. I love him, I'm so sorry. In 2013, after welcoming the 4th edition of their now 5 additions to the family, it was revealed that Dean McDermott cheated on Tori Spelling in a 2-day fling. In a candid interview with ET Canada the following year, he admitted that what he did was wrong, but he was painted in an unfair light for it. He said, "When you're at the checkout and you look over and see one of those magazines and it's like, Dean McDermott's a monster," and I'm like, "No, I'm not a monster, I'm a human being and I messed up." He said he messed up and he's owning up to it and he's getting help. But to label me a monster or evil is very hurtful. Now, the duo did work through the cheating, but they called off their marriage in 2023. Jack Nicholson and Angelica Houston split in 1989 after she found out he got somebody else pregnant. Years later, the shining actor spoke about his infidelity, saying, "I was in a wonderful relationship with Angelica. It was as good as it gets. I immediately told her what was up and she made the decision for us." He recalled saying that her first response was, "You have to support this woman." Now, her second response was to come down to my job and bop the hell out of me. And he said, "She really did a number on me. Angelica can really throw a punch." In a rather gross take, Nicholson concluded, "I'm such a wag, I'm a scamp, I don't deny it. I like myself, I grew up in a beauty parlor my family ran, so I'm used to getting along with the ladies. I prefer their company for the most part. I was pampered from the very beginning." Known to be a flirt and flaunting his narcissistic being, Adam Levine was accused of cheating on his wife of 8 years Bahati Prinsloo with an Instagram model. Summerstroh made a TikTok alleging that she had a year-long affair with the Maroon 5 frontman, and as she pulled up several receipts, he released a statement on his Insta story which read, "I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner. I did not have an affair. I crossed the line during a regrettable period of my life. In certain instances, it became inappropriate." And well, Adam's like, "No, I did not cheat. I did not cheat." 5 other women have come forward with claims of inappropriate behavior from him, so Britney Spears was completely infatuated with Justin Timberlake during the relationship from 1999 to 2002. She was so in love that she didn't want to rock the boat when she knew he was cheating on her, and she wrote as much in her memoir, The Woman in Me. She said, "Pretty soon I realized I was head over heels in love with him. So in love it was pathetic. I was so in love with Justin, just smitten. I don't know if when you're younger, love's a different thing, but what Justin and I had was special. He won't even have time to say anything or do anything for me to feel close to him." The two shared a home in Orlando and would see each other between their performance commitments. Despite the giddiness and infatuation she describes, Britney did say that there were a couple of times during the relationship when she knew Justin had cheated on her, especially because she was so infatuated and so in love, she let it go, even though the tabloids were determined to rub it in her face. Even when paparazzi had photos of Justin in a car with a certain human, she said, "I never said anything. At the time, we'd only been together for a year. There were rumors about him with various dancers and groupies. I let it all go, but clearly, he'd slept around." It was one of those things where you know, but you just don't say anything. What comes next, folks, may seem familiar if you've seen the music video for Cry Me a River. Britney fooled around with choreographer Wade Robson, who had worked with both singers, and she said, "So I did too, not a lot." One time with Wade Robson, we went out one night, we went to a Spanish bar, we danced and danced, I made out with him that night. She said she was loyal to Justin for years, only had eyes for him with that one exception, which she admitted to him. That night was chalked up to something that will happen when you are as young as you were, and the duo moved past it and stayed together. She thought they were going to be together forever. She hoped they would be. Obviously, history has shown that forever didn't come true, but Britney didn't see the eventual text message breakup coming. She said that when Justin first started making his solo album, he was getting very standoffish with her, and she thinks that's because he decided to use her as ammunition for the record, and so it made it awkward for him to be around her, staring at him with all that affection and devotion. She saw the breakup message while filming the music video for Overprotected, the remix, which, oh, such a good video, and then went back to work. She said, "I had to go back out and dance." For as much as Justin hurt her, there was a huge foundation of love, and she said when he left her, she was devastated. She said she could barely speak for months. When anybody asked about him, all she could do was cry. She doesn't know if she was clinically in shock, but she felt that way. She talked about how his family had been the only real loving family she had. Okay, my cruel intention loving heart shattered when I found out Ryan Philippe had cheated on Reese Witherspoon because she deserves better. The relationship ended in 2007 after she confronted him about being unfaithful after reading text messages between him and his co-star Abby Cornish. Having said that, Ryan Philippe pointed out in a 2008 interview that the scrutiny that Abby faced was uncalled for, which that's fair. He said it was unfair for her to be called the name she was because, well, it wasn't about that. I don't think an outside person can ever cause a divorce. He said he had difficulties in his relationship and marriage long before he ever met her. Over the years, many celebrities, including Ariana Grande, have been accused of altering their appearances, but she's finally putting those plastic surgery rumors to bed, joining the ranks of Megan Fox, Martha Stewart, and Olivia Culpo in confirming which cosmetic procedures she's had and hasn't done. As for how we know she's telling the truth, well, the Thank You Next singer addressed the rumors while hooked up to Vanity Fair's notorious lie detector test. In the 21-minute long YouTube video, Ariana Grande and her co-star from the upcoming Wicked movie, Cynthia Erivo, took turns asking each other some of the public's most asked about questions, and in doing so, put some rumors to rest. In the video that hit the internet on September 30th, Ariana and Cynthia took turns. They were like, okay, let's see, let's chat about the moon landing. Let's talk about whether or not we're workaholics. And of course, Ariana's alleged cosmetic procedures. And they didn't hold back. So, for starters, Erivo asked if Grande had ever gotten a nose job. And Ariana was like, no. And then she inquired about a boob job, or, implants. And Ariana was like, no, can you imagine? And then Cynthia was like, okay, did you get a facelift? And Ariana was like, no, not yet, I'm open. And she was grinning while she said it, and the polygraph examiner was like, yeah, she is being truthful. And the operator's nose job verdict, by the way, also, she's telling the truth. And Ariana looked like she could not have been more thrilled by this vindication. She said, "This is the best day of my life. Take that, you YouTube people," seemingly addressing the countless internet sleuths who love to speculate about her appearance. Oopsies. But the interrogation didn't stop there. Erivo then asked if Grande had in fact gotten a fox eye lift, which is one of the most persistent rumors about Ariana Grande's appearance. And she said, no, but I discovered it through people who thought I did, and I said thank you. Okay, what about a chin implant? And Ariana was like, How do they do that? No. And then finally, she did get into what she's had done. She said she's had fillers in various places and Botox, but I stopped like 4 years ago. And that is the extent. And she did also go on to say, but also I am in full support of all people who do these things. Work. Whatever makes women, men, non-gender conforming people feel beautiful should be allowed. Why do we care? Good question, honestly. And the polygraph examiner then confirmed she's telling the truth. Ariana Grande has spoken out against undergoing plastic surgery, specifically a Brazilian butt lift, or more commonly known as a BBL. In an interview with Vanity Fair, she expressed contentment with her physique. She's like, no, that wouldn't work for me. I don't think that's my thing, and like, I'm okay with that, you know? In a September 2023 episode of Vogue Beauty Secrets, that was when Ariana first shared that she had stopped getting cosmetic injectables. She said, full transparency as a beauty person, as I do my lips. Which, by the way, she did found like a whole beauty company. R.E.M. She mentioned she's had a ton of lip filler over the years and Botox, but she stopped in 2018 because she just felt too much. She felt like she was hiding. And she began tearing up before explaining that for a long time, beauty was about hiding for her. That she mentioned that I, over the years, used makeup as a disguise or as something to hide behind. More hair, more and more, the thicker the eyeliner. And that can be so beautiful at times, and she still does have love for it. She went on to say that she supports those who want to get plastic surgery, but she says that she knew for her, she was just like, oh, she wanted to see her well-earned cry lines and smile lines. She said she hopes her smile lines get deeper and deeper, and she laughs more and more, and she just thinks aging can be such a beautiful thing. She's like, but now, might I get a facelift in 10 years? Might, yeah. But these are just thoughts that I feel like we should be able to discuss if we're sitting here talking about beauty secrets. She said, F it, let's lay it all out there. And Ariana's vulnerability was met with a lot of love on social media. Among those showing support, her Wicked co-star and boyfriend Ethan Slater, who was quick to throw her post a like. Since the romance went public, I think it was like last year before, the couple have used social media to show some subtle support. In fact, Ethan, who temporarily made his Instagram account private in the wake of the new romance news, posted for the first time in quite a few months on September 6th of last year, sharing a carousel of images he captioned, "Spam a lot, not pictured." And Ariana was sure to like SpongeBob SquarePants, the Broadway musical alums, post. News of Ethan and Ariana's romance came just days after the pair had split from their respective spouses. The Grammy winner and Dalton Gomez confirmed their breakup on July 17th, while Ethan filed for divorce from his wife of 4 years, Lily J, with whom he shares a young son the following week. A source at the time told E! News that Ariana and Ethan were both separated for a while before they got together, while a second insider noted that Ariana and Dalton do remain friends. And while we love any and all transparency when it comes to plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures, it's worth noting, by the way, going back to earlier, that polygraphs and lie detector tests have been repeatedly debunked as pseudoscience. And what's more, according to the American Psychological Association, most psychologists agree that there is little evidence that polygraph tests can accurately detect lies. That being said, they sure do make for great content, so while I love seeing these videos out and about, just take it with a grain of salt, because Ariana was a little too excited when the lie detector was like, "You're right," and she's like, "Huh, see?" Speaking of which, earlier this year, Ariana Grande's older brother, Frankie, publicly debuted his post-plastic surgery face, Where the Stars Are, on Broadway. He said, "Took my new nose out to see New York. She loved the whiz." I think this was posted on July 8th on Instagram. The performer shared photos of the Big Apple excursion, where he was accompanied by his mom, Joan Grande, and friends. Frankie managed to look effortlessly chic in a black lace-collared top while showing off his voluminous platinum blonde hair. However, his unique nose accessory is what really tied the look together. After sharing a series of glam-filled photos, Frankie wrapped the post up with a makeup-free bedside selfie. Couple hours later, Frankie shared a video via Instagram stories of his new nose without the cast after going to a routine checkup appointment. "So today I got the cast off my nose and it just like blew up like a balloon," which apparently is supposed to happen, but it freaked me out a teeny bit, but still very excited, the former America's Best Dance crew judge said. "So it was like really swollen, right? Like the first day after surgery, and then like took a whole week to come back down to looking like cute like it did yesterday. And I was like, oh my god, this is so cute. I can visualize it, and then they took the cast off today and it went." Frankie concluded the message by revealing that he is restarting the unswelling process and he cannot wait to take the nose tape off for the final reveal. Frankie was transparent about his plastic surgery journey and shared his post-op selfies on Instagram on July 7th. And like, not only did he have a full nose splint, but the YouTuber's head was still wrapped in an ear guard and his eyes were still very bruised from the procedure. Ariana showered her brother with love in the comment section of the post, writing, "Perfect and always, always." A fan wrote, "I thought it was gonna say, 'Finally, Pride Month is over,' with like laughing emojis. sending healing vibes, and Frankie replied, honestly, that too. Now, this isn't the first time that the singer has given his fans the inside scoop about his beauty practices. In fact, he shared his wedding prep before getting married to husband Holly Leon in May of 2022, saying he definitely started with Botox and filler, he had really significant bags under his eyes due to genetics, and there was nothing he could really do to address them except for filler. And this is what he told news outlets, I think 4 months before he got married. He said it took a long time for him to get rid of the bags under his eyes, but now he doesn't need to get filler at all anymore. It is not something he's ever needed to get touched up, it's just perfect. It's been like this for 8 years, so shout out to Dr. Lancer, who was great. Frankie also recalled the moment he decided to first get Botox. So I've never really had wrinkles that were etched into my face or deep lines on my forehead. I never got them. So basically I did what some call pre-rejuvenation, but he was doing it before there was a name for it. And there was a lot of fans that were quick to send their love and support. I'm very happy for you. I wish you a good recovery. We love you, Frankie, one person said. Somebody else shouted king. Somebody else was like, perfection runs in the family. And it's like, we love to see it. And Ariana's unwavering support for Frankie isn't new. On National Sibling Day earlier this year, the YouTube personality shared his gratitude for his little sister's role in his life with a selfie of the pair that he posted to his Instagram account. He said, I wanted to take a moment to thank the best sister in the world for being there for me through thick and thin. From helping me with my sobriety journey to showing up for me at big moments in my life and career, you are the best sister anyone could ask for, and I'm eternally proud of you and all the sunshine you continue to spread in this world. And as Frankie rocks his new look and Ariana lights up film and TV, their unshakable support for each other highlights just how much family matters, especially under the bright lights of fame. It's not unusual to go for a bit of an image change after a split, but Jennifer Lopez is taking her ex-husband Ben Affleck's recent glow up personally, and it's totally valid once you know why. The Batman star has been spotted out and about with a noticeably darker hair and beard situation, prompting fans to suspect he has dyed his grays following his recent breakup from Jen. Ben has also been looking noticeably buffer and, smarter these past couple of months, but the actor's makeover has reportedly got his pop star ex feeling offended, with sources saying she is infuriated that he has only started looking after himself now that she isn't around to reap the benefits. Now, there's an insider that did say that Ben is suddenly going out of his way to pamper himself, look his absolute best. He's dyeing his hair, he's getting manicures and pedicures, he's getting waxed from head to toe, he's even getting hair plugs, and seeing a dermatologist for skin treatments to turn back the clock. And as you can imagine, J-Lo is seeing red because these are all the things she wanted him to do when they were together, and he refused. Look folks, for a while it seemed like Ben and her were a Hollywood fairy tale. They began dating back in 2002, got engaged that year in a whirlwind romance, and then dramatically called off their first wedding just 4 days before she was set to walk down the aisle, but then reconnected in May of 2021, then got married for 2 years before J-Lo filed for divorce in August, but 7 months before the official split, Ben had already moved out of their Beverly Hills mansion, where they had lived with their blended family. So let's see if I can remember all these family members. J-Lo's got twins. She shares them with ex-husband Mark Anthony. Ben's got 3 descendants who he co-parents with Jennifer Garner. So Ben's new look isn't just a trip to the salon. Apparently he's also overhauling his lifestyle now that Jen's out of the picture. Once again, this new routine comes after years, the last 2, of Jen begging him to take better care of himself, feeling her feeling, a little wounded. Apparently, according to sources, even his diet is cleaner. He's cut out a ton of the junk. It feels like a total slap in the face to J-Lo because it's sending the message that she wasn't worth making these changes for. But now that he's single and looking to impress new women, he's willing to step it up and stop being such a slob. But don't worry, Ben. We'll never forget the iconic Duncan photos. Now, despite the divorce not being technically finalized, Ben's already been linked to other women and was recently spotted with JFK's great niece, Kit Kennedy. Granted, apparently Ben's new look is not a snub at his ex. He's just embracing the idea of being a hot dad. He's insisting this had nothing to do with J-Lo. He's just getting back to his old self after spending so long being micromanaged in his relationship. He grew tired of trying to impress her and live up to her standards. Now he's taking advantage of the freedom to do what he wants. But the irony is that now that she's not telling him what to do, he's realizing she was right. So at this stage in his life, Ben wants to look and feel his best, especially since he's single again, looking to get back on the dating scene. And J-Lo's watching all of this unfold with a mixture of frustration and disbelief, because it bothers her to see him, making all these improvements, knowing that someone else will eventually benefit from the effort she helped inspire. Her inner circle is telling her, he's just a middle-aged fool who didn't deserve her. But she's feeling kind of let down. It's a bitter pill to swallow. I don't blame you. Now, how is J-Lo handling things? Well, she's trying trying to cheer herself up with some good old retail therapy, blowing a fortune on everything in sight. Apparently, she's been warned by her financial team that her spending habits are getting a little crazy. At one point, she was spending $100,000 a day on designer clothes. Look, folks, after you break up with somebody, some folks really jump into the dating scene, some folks really go hard in the gym, but J-Lo's like, I'm gonna do retail therapy. And like, same girl. Bath & Body Works hates to see me coming. You can't blame her. This whole divorce, this whole relationship has been nothing but rumor mill fuel for the last 2 years. But I don't know if blowing your entire fortune on yourself and your entourage is the way to go about it. Yeah. Did I mention she's been beefing up her entourage? So then her spending has like gone all the way up because when she goes anywhere, they all go with her and obviously she's gonna pay for them to be around her. According to sources, she's throwing around money like she's a billionaire, but like she's not. She's treating herself to these outrageous shopping sprees, and she calls it retail therapy, which I get it. And she does say she needs it, but like maybe the bills are a bit outrageous. If you look at $100,000 a day on designer clothes, I don't know. I think that's a lot. The way she's hemorrhaging money right now is apparently madness, according to sources, but she says it makes her happy, so it's worth it. Look, I think she's worth like $400 million, but if your financial team is worried about your spending habits, that's kind of what they're there for. Look, let's break this down. Number one, she's got this divorce to settle, which could cost her as much as $50 million. She's got to buy a new home. She's got to get rid of her old one, which is kind of hers, kind of his. So obviously her financial team is kind of like, hey girl, maybe scale back on the spending. It was recently reported that she is eyeing this lavish estate in Holmby Hills, currently priced at $55 million. Obviously she's trying to get the cost down. I think she described $39 million as reasonable, but you know, it's still a 14-bedroom mansion with gardens, a greenhouse, a guest house, and an infinity pool. So her financial team's like, hey, if you want to stay where you are in life and afford this nice big house, you might want to stop spending so much on clothes. There was another source that was like, hey, by the way, the divorce, it might get messy because Ben and J-Lo didn't sign a prenup, which like, folks, you know you're rich, you know you have this money, now you're gonna have to divide your community property. Apparently, J-Lo's net worth is approximately 4 times that of Ben's, and according to sources, once again, it's become very clear that there's no getting out of paying Ben half of what J-Lo made during their marriage, which obviously not sitting well with her. And rightfully so, she's probably going to put up a nasty fight if this divorce takes a nasty turn. She does have enough money to drag this out, as long as she stops spending like she is, and I feel like, according to sources that I've read, she'd rather give the money to lawyers than to Ben, so she's given her team the go-ahead to stall as much as they can, no matter what it costs her in fees. Now, for his part, Ben is trying to play down the money aspect of it, but there's no doubt it does represent a pretty decent payday, and he's justifying taking it by saying he deserves every dime just for putting up with her and all her drama. I guess it could also help cover his new, daddy makeover. Now, I do know the two have spent some time together following the divorce. I know they're trying to work together on their issues for the sake of, you know, the whole blended family situation. The whole family obviously got very close during the relationship. According to sources, there is still a great deal of love there. The couple came together back in September to attend a back-to-school night back, you know, last month. They were also seen at a family outing in Beverly Hills. They're obviously trying to iron things out. They're trying to take the divorce amicably because I believe they also have some vested business interests, and once again, that joint property situation they gotta get rid of. So it's not like they just be like, okay, I never wanna see you again. Well, I guess they could, but it would be a lot more complicated that way when you consider all the financials. Look, they just want everything to be ironed out. They want the least amount of drama possible, and I don't blame them. Granted, they did have one public fight, I believe in Beverly Hills. J-Lo apparently said, and I quote, she will never forgive Ben Affleck after that public tiff had her in tears. There was a report in Marca that claimed that the couple was spotted in Beverly Hills and they were sharing some tense moments, heated words, however you want to put it. Wasn't pretty, wasn't very happy blended family. Now, pictures did show the couple on an outing. I believe the whole blended family was there, and they showed a very emotional J-Lo wiping away a tear while Ben just kind of stood nearby. In Touch magazine did quote a source close to J-Lo saying that Jennifer didn't want to make a scene in front of the rest of the family, but she has made it clear that she'll never forgive Ben for being such a cold-hearted jerk and giving up on their marriage. Look, obviously, the actors wanted to keep things civil during their ongoing divorce, but it seems like the cracks have begun to emerge as the proceedings get underway. In 2013, Corey Feldman went on The View to talk about how the Predator numbers are larger than anybody knows and include a ring reaching up into the Hollywood elite that's been shielded for years by the establishment. Barbara Walters looked at him with disbelief, hands clasped across her stomach, and snarled, "You're damaging an entire industry," as if to say that Hollywood itself was more valuable than wrecking lives. In a lengthy statement posted to to Twitter, Charisma Carpenter detailed how Joss Whedon allegedly mistreated her during her time on both of his hit shows that she worked on, Buffy and Angel. Carpenter wrote that after nearly 2 decades of staying quiet and making excuses for traumatizing events, she finally had the courage to call out Joss Whedon for using his power in a bad way on numerous occasions. Following Charisma's allegations, which included claims that Whedon continuously made passive-aggressive threats to fire her, called her fat when she was 4 months pregnant, pitted cast members against one another, and unceremoniously fired her after accusing her of sabotaging the show, several of her Buffy and Angel castmates shared their thoughts on the situation and messages of support. Sarah Michelle Gellar, who played Buffy on Buffy, said that while I am proud to have my name associated with Buffy Summers, I don't want to be forever associated with the name Joss Whedon. I stand with all survivors and am proud of them for speaking out. James Marsters, who played Spike, mentioned that while he will always be honored to have played the character, the Buffy set was not without challenges. He does not support harm of any kind, and he was heartbroken to learn of the experiences of some of the cast. He sent his love and support to everybody. So there was a lot of suspicions about the casting couch as a term used to characterize stars who are handed roles in exchange for favors long before the Harvey story broke. Megan Fox was one who spoke out. She spoke with GQ and laid out the cold hard facts, putting the rumors to rest. The actress stated that she would be honored to meet Hollywood legends and that she would be overjoyed by prospects, and then when she arrived, she would find out that meetings would be just a ruse. Many males in the profession were able to get away with sleeping with a lot of women, but she wasn't one of them. She was like, absolutely not, and that didn't help her career. Film critics and historians mentioned like, hey, does this ring a bell? Because over the years in Hollywood, the risks for a lot of folks were kind of high if you didn't follow the leader. Fall in line. Vanessa Marquez had a recurring role on the hospital drama ER during the 90s, playing nurse Wendy Goldman, and alleged that George Clooney helped blacklist her after she spoke up about the harassment that was occurring on the set of the hit show. Now, Clooney has since denied the allegations, saying he had nothing to do with casting, he was an actor and only an actor. If she was told he was involved in any decision about her career, then she was lied to. The fact that he couldn't affect her career is only surpassed by the fact that he wouldn't have. Now, following her stint on ER, Vanessa hasn't really had a lot of work. Sadly. Tara Subkoff was an up-and-coming actress in the 90s. She had roles in movies like As Good as It Gets, All Over Me, The Last Days of Disco. She was up for a part in one of Harvey's movies when he offered her the role at a premiere after a party, and then he hit on her. Well, according to her, after she rejected his advances, she found herself on the Hollywood block list. She was the subject of false gossip, labeled difficult to work with, and by that I mean like too difficult to work with. She said it became impossible for her to get work as an actress after that, so then she had to start a new career path, and yeah. Poor thing. Harvey, once again, had Mira Sorvino's career derailed after she rejected his advances. She mentioned to Ronan Farrow that she had rejected him on several occasions and had even reported his harassment to a female employee at Miramax, and had then noticed that her career was starting to suffer. She mentioned like there may have been other factors, but she definitely felt iced out and that her rejection of Harvey had something to do with it. In December of 2017, director Peter Jackson came forward and admitted that Harvey had badmouthed Sorvino to him, telling him that she was a nightmare to work with and he should avoid her at all costs. Seeing a pattern here today. Tippi Hedren was Alfred Hitchcock's most iconic leading lady. Under his direction, she went from being a model to a respected actress. Unfortunately, he wanted a little more than to just direct her on screen. He was reportedly quite obsessed with her and made a number of unwanted advances, which she rejected. She said, "He stared at me and simply said, as if it was the most natural thing in the world, that from this time on, he expected me to make myself available in that nature and accessible to him, however and whenever and wherever he wanted." Now, when Tippi tried to get out of her contract with Hitchcock, he threatened to ruin her career, and then he followed through with his threat. Because he had her under contract, he was able to keep her on the payroll without actually employing her. He made sure to turn down any film offers that came in from other studios. Now, looking back at it, she actually has a pretty good attitude with the situation. She mentioned that he ruined her career, but he didn't ruin her life. That time of her life was over. She still admires him for his work, but not as a person. After Clint Eastwood dumped Sandra Locke back in 1989, she found herself blacklisted by all of Hollywood's major studios, and this lasted for like a decade. Before the breakup, she had quite the career. She had an Oscar nomination under her belt, she had starred in 6 films of his, she was a budding director, but her breakup with the legendary director was very messy. She arrived home one day to find that he had changed the locks on their shared home and had put her stuff in storage. In response, she filed a palimony suit against him. In 1990, they were able to reach an agreement, agreement. Eastwood actually set up a development/directing pact for her at Warner Brothers in exchange for her dropping the suit. But 5 years later, they're back in court. She alleged that he had compensated Warner Brothers to keep her out of work because they had rejected all of the 30 projects that she had proposed and didn't give her any of their in-house projects. When he realized the jury was going to side with Locke, he settled with her for an undisclosed amount. But her career was not magically resurrected. However, it did send out a message in Hollywood that powerful people can and will take advantage of their power, but in this case, we win. Being wrongfully touched is a problem for a lot of folks in Hollywood, be it man, woman, no matter what your gender is. A sad example of this is Brendan Fraser, who claimed in 2018 that at a public event, he went to shake the hand of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association president, or HFPA, Philip Burke, but instead Burke grabbed Fraser's behind. Now, Burke has described this account as a total fabrication, but then, in his 2014 memoir, he admitted to having groped him in jest. Sadly, when you combine this harm, Brendan's divorce at the time, and the death of his mother, it kind of launched him sadly into a depression that, combined with his health problems, led to a break in his career. He had completely turned away from the spotlight, but then he bravely and publicly shamed Burke for the indecency. Sadly, for quite a while after that, Brendan's work phone stopped ringing. But now he's back, and we'd love to see it.
From Leonardo DiCaprio to Alec Baldwin and Madonna, here's our list of celebrities hiding secret age gap relationships. Starting off, we have Jay-Z and Beyonce. Now, they met when Beyonce was 18, sometime between 1999 and the year 2000, and they started dating around 2001, and they have a 12-year age gap. And twins Rumi and Sir in June 2017. But their relationship hasn't always been perfect. In May 2014, footage of Jay-Z, Beyonce, and her sister Solange in an elevator after the annual Met Gala showed Solange attacking Jay-Z following some sort of argument. Now, no one from the family has ever confirmed what the issue was, but tabloids reported it was over cheating rumors. Then, when Beyonce released her album Lemonade in 2016, she practically confirmed the cheating rumors, including lyrics like "death to side chicks" and the infamous "he only wants me when I'm not there, he better call Becky with the good hair." Now, in 2017, Jay-Z admitted to cheating on Beyonce and said that they worked through it. Then there's Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo is known for mostly dating girls under 25 years old. Now, it honestly became a joke all over the internet. Camilla Monroe dated Leo from 2017 to 2022, and she was 23 years younger than the actor. Then, just 2 months after her 25th birthday, the relationship ended in August 2022. Then Leo also dated the Brazilian model Gisele Bündchen off and on between the year 2000 to 2005, and they even appeared together on the red carpet at the 2005 Oscars. The same year though, they called it quits. At this point, Leo was 30 and Gisele was, you guessed it, 25. Currently though, he's dating Victoria Soretti, and they started their romance in the middle of 2023, and the interesting thing is, Victoria is actually 26 years old, and they're still together. Their age gap though is 23 years. Chris Evans, the 42-year-old Marvel star, recently got married to his 26-year-old girlfriend, Alba Batista, in Cape Cod. However, the couple's age gap has sparked controversy and criticism on social media. Now, many people have taken to Twitter to express their disapproval of the relationship, with some calling it creepy as it is a 16-year-old age gap. That 16-year age gap would have been on every single headline if it wasn't Chris Evans. I said what I said, one person wrote on Twitter. Thought it was his daughter, exclaimed another. Chris Evans has said that he wanted a family for years, then gets a girlfriend who's 16 years younger and still of age to start a family as opposed to him. The wedding seems rushed and she's new in the industry and just starting up her career. This feels extremely icky to me. And yeah, I gotta agree there. Now, Chris has spoken about wanting to settle down for a while now, and their relationship and marriage just felt rushed. Now, they started dating 2 years ago in 2022, but a source close to Chris said he kept saying he knew she was the one, adding that he's been the happiest since they met, and that Alba is everything to him. Sam Taylor Johnson and Aaron Taylor Johnson first met when Aaron auditioned for her film Nowhere Boy. Aaron got the role of a young John Lennon, and he was 18 years old at the time. Sam, then 42 years old, directed the film, and later that year Sam announced that she was separating from her husband, Jay Jopling, after 11 years, and she started dating Sam. Now, a year after dating, Sam and Aaron announced their engagement at the premiere of their film. Now, it's just gross because there's a 23-year age gap. She could be his mother, and she met him when he was barely an adult. Now, many people think he's been taken advantage of and that he's a victim. Now, there have also been many jokes online of people begging for Aaron to be freed, which I got to agree with. Speaking of the age gap, Aaron reportedly told Men's Health in a 2014 interview, "She's such a young, beautiful soul that you wouldn't even know." In 2017, Sam came out and publicly responded to the ongoing questions about their relationship's age gap. People like to talk about it. I'm like, yeah, but it works better than my last marriage. It's lasted longer than a lot of my friends' marriage, she told The Hollywood Reporter. Now, Aaron also defended their relationship, as in 2019 he told the UK newspaper The Telegraph, "When I met Sam, I'd already lived a life far beyond that of most of my contemporaries. I didn't relate to anyone my age. I just feel that we're on the same wavelength." Everyone on the internet, though, is rooting for them to break up, as they think Aaron deserves better and that he wasn't protected properly. Now, earlier this year, Aaron was seen not wearing his wedding ring, and people thought that the couple broke up, but on September 25th, Aaron denied divorce rumors with his wife as he posted photos online of the both of them on vacation. Madonna also has a new boyfriend, and their age gap is honestly crazy. She is 66 years old, while her boyfriend Akeem Morris is 28. That's a 38-year age gap. Now, Madonna and Akeem previously worked together when she was Paper Magazine's cover star in August 2022, and it seems like their relationship blossomed from there. Akeem was spotted spending the 4th of July with Madonna this year, as videos shared to TikTok showed the pair having fun on a balcony, while the singer herself shared photos from the night on her Instagram. Happy 4th of July. A year ago today, I had just come home from the hospital after surviving a life-threatening illness. I could barely stand in my backyard holding one sparkler. I made a miraculous recovery and had an amazing year. Thank you God, life is beautiful, she captioned her post, which showed her and Akeem watching fireworks. Then Akeem was seen with Madonna while she was celebrating her 66th birthday in Italy. And finally, we have Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin. Now, they first met for the first time in February of 2011 when Hilaria was working as a yoga instructor. Now, the couple moved quickly into a stable relationship, as Hilaria told Beach Magazine in a 2013 interview, "5 months into our relationship, we got an apartment together, then we started talking about getting married, then he proposed, then we got married, now we have a kid," she explained. So it all went quite fast. Now, the couple has a 26-year age gap, and currently they have 7 children together. It was announced earlier this year that the family is getting their own reality show called The Baldwins. The series is billed as a way to give fans a glimpse into the couple's ups and downs while they raise their 7 children, the eldest of whom is only 10 years old. They posted the announcement on Instagram with Alex saying, "We're inviting you into our home to experience the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the wild, and the crazy." In the teaser, as family videos rolled, "Home is the place we love to be most." Now, the 50-second sneak peek concludes with the parents and their 7 kids on the sofa shouting, "We're the Baldwins" for the cameras, and we're coming to TLC. Alec then joked as his kids jumped around on and off camera, "God help you all," he added with a smile. The show is set to premiere in 2025 on TLC and will follow the couple as they open up their lives for the first time and bring everyone in to join the non-stop love, laughter, and drama, per a press release.
Ben didn't want his love letters to Jennifer being made public in her new film, but insiders have claimed it wasn't because he had kept them a secret from his ex-wife, because Jennifer Garner's fans were kind of outraged after Ben Affleck revealed that he clung on to his correspondence with JLo during his 13-year marriage, and then had those letters and emails bound into a book to gift to Jenny from the Block when they reunited in 2021. But insiders have quashed any notion that the admission shocked Garner. Apparently she was happy for Ben Affleck and JLo. She's friends with them, and she's also at peace in her current relationship. But Ben, on the other hand, would love for the outside world not to know about his love letters. Sure, he's a romantic, but you know, he's still a private kind of guy. He keeps his memories, whether it is from the movies he worked on or family, relationship moments. He always has what common folks call receipts. But then at the end of the day, nobody was surprised by JLo making things public because JLo wanted everybody to know about it. She was like, oh, this is our inspiration. Ben didn't know that she actually brought those into the studio until she told the world. According to several of JLo's former staff members, Jennifer earned herself the nickname Palo because she paid her staff around 50% less than they could make elsewhere. And this rumor's been going on for years, so it's pretty much fact at this point. We're talking like 2003, which is like 20 plus years ago. JLo was spotted in Vegas with Ben Affleck when they were first dating. Right now we're in round 3, 2, depends on where you are on the timeline. The pair had a big win. Ben decided to drop $2,000 to the dealer, but before the dealer could actually take his well-earned reward, JLo snatched up the cash, swapped it for $200. Now, people are like, okay, does she have a reason for paying her staff so little? She's like, yeah, I had to work hard to make my money, so like everybody else should. And like, I'm sorry, that's just embarrassing. If you had to work hard to earn what you earned, you should want to try and make it easier for others because you know how hard it is. It's just a really entitled point of view and it's gross. Now, if you didn't know, earlier this year, JLo released her documentary on Prime. It's This Is Me Now, a love story. Gave you behind the scenes look into her album, This Is Me Now. If I'm sounding redundant, just you wait. The movie was called The Greatest Love Story Never Told. Until it was told, and now it's over. Sorry, my little ad lib there. Some fans who watched it took to social media to call her out for her lies. Because in one scene, she poses in the mirror of her personal gym because she's shaking out her hair. She's reminiscing about growing up in the Bronx. She's like, yeah, I like taking my hair like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. Crazy little girl who used to be effing wild, no limits, all dreams. But then come in TikTok user, photos by Angela, who's like, I went to the same Catholic high school as JLo, and JLo is lying. She said, and I quote, we both attended an all-girls high school in an Irish and Italian neighborhood, so you weren't running up and down the block. Now, JLo's been long accused of some fibbing and whatnot. One big fib, apparently she doesn't actually sing on her albums. Singer Natasha Ramos took to TikTok to shed light on that rumor. So Natasha has a voice pretty similar to JLo's, and was allegedly hired to sing the demo of Jenny from the Block. And the production team liked her voice so much that they asked her to record 5 more songs for an album, which, oh boy. Natasha received $3,500 in a backup singer's credit. But as she claims, and as the original demo demonstrates, yeah, it's her voice in the final track. And not only in the choruses, it's her laugh, it's her yelling from the Bronx. JLo, I think, only really sings in the verse. Speaking of stealing, JLo's notorious for stealing from other artists. Like, she caught her big break back in 1997 when she starred as the late Latin pop icon Selena in the biography of the same name. And after that film, JLo ventured into music. Her demo was picked up by music exec Tommy Mottola and Sony Music, and she dropped her debut album in summer of 1999. And one big hit from that album was If You Had My Love. You know it, you love it, we've all heard it. Well, that song got some backlash from R&B singer Shantae Moore because Moore had a near identical song called If I Gave Love that she recorded a year prior in 1998. Both these songs were written and produced by Rodney Jerkins. It's been said that JLo's then boyfriend, whose name I probably shouldn't say on here, pressured Jerkins to write a near identical song. And JLo's stealing habits only got worse as time went on. This wasn't like a one and done. So using background vocals is not uncommon in the music industry. But the issue with JLo is that she's passed those off as her own. Songs like Play and the I'm Real remix feature prominent reference track vocals from Christina Milian. Ashanti, JLo and Ja Rule's music video for I'm in Real remix. Yeah, JLo used Ashanti's reference track vocals in the song and passed them off as her own. Yeah, instead of JLo re-recording the song, which is kind of what's normal in the industry, she left the demo vocals on the song and failed to credit anybody else. If I was to list everybody she's like stolen from over the years or attempted to steal from, we'd be here all day. But let's look at some notable names. Usher, Mariah Carey, Brandy Norwood. I could go on and on. Oh, and by the way, JLo's also been accused of lip syncing a lot during live performances. In 2021, fans flooded social media during her American Music Awards performance because they were very disappointed that her vocals did not match the studio version of her song On My Way. And then 2014, she was performing on American Idol, and folks were like, no, you're lip syncing I Love Ya Poppy. We all saw it, we all know it. Not the right move. So in 2002, JLo starred in the romantic comedy Made in Manhattan. And she went all over the world promoting this, and when she landed in London, people were talking. They weren't talking about the movie though, they were talking about her demands. Because, well, she was there and, hanging out, she had a very interesting encounter with hotel staff. She was staying at the Metropolitan Hotel, and this is where the early signs of J-Lo being a career diva began to show. The hotel staff was astounded by her extravagant demands, because apparently it was reaching levels they'd never seen before. She was like, I need thousands of pounds of lemon-scented candles. And also, if I'm even gonna go like a block around the corner, I need a limo. Literally, she had 7 limousines escort her to lunch at a place that was only 200 yards away. So maybe you think, well, Alexa, maybe she grew out of that. 2012 reports surfaced that Jenny from the block demanded that staff working for her make no eye contact or even speak with her. While having work done on her San Fernando Valley home, she demanded that none of the helpers, drivers, or contractors have any interactions with her. And reportedly, when flying first class, she doesn't like anybody to bother her. Not even a flight attendant. And that's their job. They bother you for safety, if you need a snack. One time a flight attendant offered her a drink, and she was like, She said instead to her assistant, please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime. Sure, this rumor hasn't really been confirmed, but come on, who does that? J-Lo had her former co-star Ryan Guzman fake his relationship status to hype up their movie almost 10 years ago. And we found this out from his ex-girlfriend who was with him at the time. So Melanie Iglesias called out J-Lo on the No Chaser podcast for how Jen acted during the 2015 The Boy Next Door press run. Because apparently J-Lo was holding hands with Ryan at after parties and acting like they were an item. But she knew fully well he had an actual girlfriend. The model says she even met J-Lo at an award show while she was dating Ryan, claiming she gave her an awkwardly firm handshake and an intimidating once-over, something Melanie says she was disappointed over, seeing as at the time she viewed J-Lo as a hero. And Melanie also pointed that when Ellen DeGeneres directly asked J-Lo on the show, doesn't he have a girlfriend? J-Lo played dumb. She's like, I don't know. Girl, you knew. J-Lo faced a lot of backlash after revealing she was unhappy about sharing the stage with fellow artist Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl. The duo took the stage by storm at the iconic annual halftime show, with their history-making performance attracting a lot of praise from fans and celebrities worldwide. But turns out, despite the actual success of the performance, J-Lo wasn't really happy with the NFL's decision to have her and Shakira take the stage together. She admitted in her Netflix documentary that we know way too much about that she thought it was the worst idea in the world. Shortly after those comments hit online, fans were like, okay, what's up with this entitled attitude? Arguing that regardless of time constraints, it was iconic. And it's like, girl, you went out, you did your thing. Celebrity breakups can get super messy, and stars like Brianna Chicken Fry, Zayn Malik, and Lindsay Lohan know exactly what I'm talking about. So Brianna Chicken Fry is done with men after her split with Zach Bryan. After admitting to being blindsided by the breakup, the podcaster took to social media on Saturday, October 26th to reassure her followers that she was doing okay. Literally saying, I'm literally so fine, besties, in her Instagram story, adding that F men and, K-word, am all, LMAO. She also shared that her friend had sent her cupcakes to deal with the breakup, which meant to read his loss, but instead had a typo, so they read his lose, which I find hilarious. And she further touched on the split in other posts in her Instagram story, saying, remember when I put my life on pause for a man? Forgive me, I'm only human. So on Tuesday, October 22nd, Bryan confirmed that he and Brianna had split after 1 year of dating. And he said, and I quote, addressing something, Brianna and me have broken up with one another, and I respect and love her with every ounce of my heart. She has loved me unconditionally for a very long time, and for that I'll always thank her. So that was his Instagram story, and he continued on by saying, I've had an incredibly hard year personally and struggled through some pretty severe things. I thought it would be beneficial for both of us to go our different ways. I am not perfect and never will be. The country singer then urged fans to give the former couple space to navigate through the breakup in privacy, saying, if you have it in your heart, mine too, with everything I am, and to anyone I let down, I am sorry. I try my best in everything. I failed people that love me and mostly myself. And Brianna responded via her Instagram stories by saying she didn't see this public post coming, saying, hey guys, I'm feeling really blindsided right now. Gonna hop off social media for a while and attempt to heal privately. When I'm ready, I'll be back and ready to talk. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all of your kind words. Remember, you are so loved and everything's always gonna be okay. And then she posted a YouTube video soon afterwards saying, how can you give every ounce of yourself to someone and then be discarded of in a few days? It's really, really heartbreaking, and I don't want to talk about details right now. And valid, girl. Valid. That was so awful. Perry Edwards and Zayn Malik first met in 2011, started dating in 2012, before getting engaged in 2013, and they split in August of 2015, and the breakup was nothing short of an earthquake in the world of showbiz. Directioners, you know what I'm talking about. It rocked my internet. People magazine was the first to release the news of this split on August 4th, stating that Zayn had contacted Perry 2 weeks prior and said it was over. And Perry was pictured around the same time, posing without her ring. She was hanging out with her bandmates, and we were like, oh my god girl, what's going on? Now she was the first to speak out following the split during a Little Mix performance in LA just a couple of days after the news was released. At the time, Zayn was still yet to publicly comment on the breakup, but he did break his Twitter silence with a random photograph of a flower on a piano, and the former One Direction star then shared a series of tweets complaining that you just can't do enough for some people. And the following week, fans were devastated that the ex-couple's incredible home had been put on the market, which kind of confirmed that they were definitely over, even though they just bought that house like 2 months prior. Insiders claimed that Zayn had already asked Perry to move her belongings out of the home. Things began to turn sour between the two in August when Zayn dissed Perry's band with a retweet from Shady Music Facts that read, "Which is a better single? Retweet Fifth Harmony's Worth It, favorite Little Mix's #1 hit Black Magic." So that retweet was seen as a real snub to his ex and introduced the Zayn has no chill hashtag. Ooh, I'm getting memories, folks. The turn of events came after Perry's bandmate Jade made off with a fan sign in Arizona that read, "Zayn is irrelevant anyways." And again, at another gig in Salt Lake City, Jesse pointed to Perry during the line of Black Magic that goes, "Crystal ballin' just to help him see what he's been missing." And in an excerpt from Little Mix's book, Our World, Perry revealed that Zayn actually broke up with her after 4 years via text, saying it was horrible, the worst time of my life, a 4-year relationship, 2-year engagement ended by a simple text message. Just like that. Even though things in my career were going really well, it was incredibly difficult for me. But she said the girls were amazing, like her bandmates. They'd have sleepovers, they'd get her favorite desserts, they'd do everything they could to cheer her up. She surrounded herself with friends and family because she didn't want to be alone, because when she started thinking about things and getting upset. And in March of 2016, Zayn actually admitted to cheating on Perry on his album track She Don't Love Me, with lyrics, "I think I know she don't love me, that's why I F around." Now it seemed like the final nail in this whole coffin of things came in August of 2016 when Zayn had his tattoo of Perry covered up. Jelena, the OG on-again off-again couple, have been involved in a lot of drama ever since they first started dating in 2010. And even, I don't know how many years it's been now since they split, but the media frenzy has not stopped. The pair are always taking jabs at each other on social media. So I think it started, correct me if I'm wrong, with Justin Bieber posting photos on Insta of his, then girlfriend, Sophia Richie. At the time, fans fled to the comment section, sending hate towards Sophia, and then Justin, I think threatened to turn his Insta private. And then Selena entered the Instagram feud being like, if you can't handle the hate, then stop posting pictures of your girlfriend, lol. It should be special between you two only. Don't be mad at your fans, they love you and supported you before anyone ever did. Now, of course, Justin wasn't going to ignore this, and he responded by commenting, "It's funny to see people that used me for attention and still try to point the finger this way. Sad, all love." And then Selena followed up with, "Funny how the ones who cheated multiple times are pointing the finger at the ones that were forgiving and supportive. No wonder fans are mad. Sad, all love." Look, things were really heated and it never ended. It's still going on to this day. Even with their current partners, it's just madness. Utter madness, and I don't think it'll ever not be a topic of public discourse. Sadly. Lindsay Lohan had a very interesting relationship with DJ Samantha Ronson back in 2009. Now, originally these two women were just friends, but things got romantic I think around 2008 into 2009, so they had made several public appearances together. And while they never tried to hide their relationship, they never directly confirmed that they were an item, but Lindsay did eventually make the situation clear during an interview with Harper's Bazaar, where she said, "I think it's pretty obvious who I'm seeing. I think it's no shock to anyone that it's been going on for quite some time. She's a wonderful person and I love her very much." This romance was very on again, off again, and the couple split for good in April of 2009, and it was really messy. Sources told People magazine that Sam had changed the lock in her house and banned Lindsay from attending her sister's fashion event after the breakup. In an interview, Lindsay alleged that Samantha had hired 5 bodyguards to keep her away from the hotel bar she was in, so the actress didn't cause a scene after they had a fight. Lindsay also shared some tweets saying that being cheated does wonders to you. "I'm doing this publicly because you and your friends call People magazine. So you win, you broke my heart, now go away, I loved you." Followed by, "Please leave me alone and stop staying in the room below me. You've woken me and my mother up, go to bed, keep cheating, you win." Whew, Well, in an interview with US Weekly, Lindsay admitted that that was the worst night of her life. And like, yeah, I don't blame you, girl. That's just so messy. Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson were together for 4 months, and they even got engaged in that short time span before calling it quits in 2018. And although the split appeared kind of cordial at the time, the pair did later take a couple of personal jabs at each other through various media appearances. In 2019, Ariana appeared on the front cover of Vogue and discussed the whole thing, and admitted that, sure, the SNL star was an amazing distraction. It was frivolous and fun and insane and highly unrealistic, and I loved him and I didn't know him. Ouch. Of course, Pete didn't take being labeled as a distraction too well. On his Netflix stand-up special, that's I believe called Pete Davidson, a Live from New York, he responded with, "Can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow if I spray painted myself and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started crapping on my ex." Kim Kardashian recently shared how she makes sure her kids aren't finishing all their Halloween candy. In an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live ahead of her American Horror Story Delicate Part 2 finale, the 43-year-old reality star and entrepreneur shared with Kimmel what it was like growing up next to Madonna in her childhood and adult years, and what it's like trick-or-treating with the Material Girl singer. Kimmel's like, "I would imagine this is like a celebrity neighborhood, but like, you got good candy, right?" Kim was like, "Yes," and then Kimmel was like, "Madonna allowed her kids to eat candy? She seems very healthy." And Kim was like, "Yeah, absolutely, she's very healthy. But I mean, I take it and then I throw it away, or I donate it." Kimmel was like, "Okay, so if you take away your kid's candy, next time videotape it. I'd like to have it. Kind of a hobby of mine," which obviously he was referring to his viral segment where every year, the day after Halloween, parents videotape their kids telling them they ate all their candy, they send him the video, he plays it, and people laugh, or so I'm told. Apparently with fame comes the right to be slobs, at least according to the Kardashian housekeepers, who claim the girls never clean up after themselves, yet expect their rooms and closets to always be camera ready. Well, there's no doubt that the Kardashian women are busy with their multiple shows, their families, numerous business ventures. Some folks have argued that they don't have the right to be so demanding of the housekeepers who help to tend their homes, which I agree. This even led to a lawsuit in 2021, as reported by NBC News, with 7 workers, not 1, not 2, but 7, claiming that Kim Kardashian failed to pay overtime, cover expenses, and provide legally mandated breaks, while expecting her housekeepers to always be on call to pick up after her. Look, if you want luxury services, you've got to pay luxury prices. That's how it is. You've got to pay overtime. You got to pay expenses. You have to provide breaks. Legally mandated for a reason. Shayna Moakler, Travis Barker's ex-wife, went on a podcast and claimed that Kim Kardashian hooked up with him, which is a major bombshell considering Travis is now married to Kim's sister Kourtney. Not only that, but there was allegedly cheating involved. Yeah, Shayna claimed that Travis was seeing Kim behind her back and that Kim played a major part in the breakdown of their marriage. Now, this was during an appearance on the Dumb Blonde podcast, and Shayna revealed that she and Travis were working on their relationship when she was sent text messages between him and Kim from some anonymous source. What did those text messages say? They were trying to meet up at her sister's house to do the deed. Now, apparently when she showed the text to Travis, he had already deleted them. So yeah, she had reason to be suspicious. But what people can't seem to get over about this story is the fact that Travis might have been interested in Kim before he was into Kourtney. And that's something that would promote hurt feelings all around. But like, is Kim Kardashian really a homewrecker? Would she really go after her sister's man and not put it on TV? I don't know. Sounds unlikely to me. I feel like this should have been a storyline of some sort on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They say that as you get more and more famous, you get more and more lonely and isolated. Like, Kim K used to have a lot of high-profile celebs on her list of friends. We're talking Beyonce, even Taylor Swift for a hot minute. But her former assistant Stephanie revealed that Beyonce and Kim had quite the feud and often badmouthed each other, which hasn't become like super known because they did it privately in their homes. Stephanie also said that Kim has a hard time keeping friends because she thinks she's better than everybody else, and she tries to be better than everybody else too. Let's see, we've got a whole list of people that she's cut off over the years. Jordan Woods, Blac Chyna, and Drake. It's easy to judge someone who has a big ego, but would any of us act different in Kim's situation? Most of us will ever know, but like, why would you think you're better than your friends? According to a March 2023 Bloomberg Businessweek report, Kim was questioned by the feds as part of this crazy investigation into the big Malaysian financier. I think his name is Zhou Lo, who was a mogul at the center of the big infamous 1MDB fund embezzlement scandal. So US prosecutors alleged that Lowe had stolen at least $4.5 billion From one Malaysia Development Berhad, which was founded and led by a former prime minister. The Justice Department indicted Low in 2018 for conspiring to launder billions of dollars stolen from the development fund and paying out hundreds of millions of dollars in bribes. And since then, he's been like a fugitive. I think he's living in China. In 2019, Kim told the FBI that she once played Baccarat in a Las Vegas casino with Low and others, and she ended up winning big. Now, he told her, keep your chips, which were worth $350,000. And she told the FBI that when she went to the casino counter to cash out, she was handed $250,000 in a trash bag full of $100 bills. So she put the trash bag full of cash in her carry-on bag and boarded a Southwest Airlines flight back to LA. Once again, sketch. On a later trip to Vegas, Kim collected the remaining $100K, again, in a trash bag. Look, I don't know a lot of big gamblers, but this sounds sketchy. Don't you think? Let me know in the comments. The Kardashians are known to take many extravagant vacations and ventures, and one memorable visit to Bora Bora on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, people will know about it. Well, there, Kim reportedly lost her diamond earrings, leading the whole family to search the water for her prized jewelry. Naturally, losing something of such great worth and importance brought plenty of viewers in and sparked a lot of discussion online about the episode. Everybody was worried, where's Kim's earring? Seriously, like, there's people who have never seen a whole episode of the show, but if you quoted them, Kim, there's people dying, they'd roar laughing. I'm not even a super fan. I quote it all the time. But the problem here, according to RadarOnline.com, Kim's ex-husband, Kris Humphries, said it didn't actually happen. Kim did lose her earrings. The move was a publicity stunt to get views. While this surely wasn't the only time Keeping Up with the Kardashians created a false moment, the lost earrings are a prime example of the lack of reality in the reality show. It also shows viewers should reserve judgment and sympathy when something happens on the show, since it might be fabricated for views, which is something we'll talk about more in a moment. We all know reality TV is quasi-scripted by this point in our lives. If you didn't, my bad. But like, when something is this heavily scripted, it's just annoying. When you hear about the Kardashians, you probably automatically assume they're entitled divas, and sadly, you're not wrong. Reports have surfaced that the Kardashians, especially the younger generation, were very kind to the camera crew when Keeping Up with the Kardashians first started in 2007. But as the show progressed, the family got a lot more famous, their kindness and respect for the crews they worked with dwindled, causing unpleasant and unfriendly moments, to say the least, behind the scenes. Ah yes, when fame and money reveal people's true colors. According to The Sun, the Kardashians repeatedly berate crew members and make unreasonable demands on anybody in their path. Additionally, the girls often try to direct what happens or demand multiple reshoots of simple moments on the show to place themselves in the best light they can, at the expense of the rest of the family and crew. Well, after learning how poorly they treat their staff, this probably isn't like a big surprise revelation to anybody, but like it's not a good thing, and probably something the girls want to keep under wraps. One of the most talked about events of Keeping Up with the Kardashians was Kim's extremely short-lived marriage to Kris Humphries. This marriage lasted less than 3 months and commanded headlines for like months if not years following the split. The whole situation was awkward, and Humphries reportedly felt betrayed by Kim, feeling that the marriage was all in the name of ratings. The 72-day wedding will forever live on in infamy. And when you consider there's no such thing as bad publicity, I guess it was a boon for the girls. Why would they waste all that time and money? No. Why would you waste all that time and money if it wasn't gonna work out? Who knows? According to the Washington Post, the marriage was meant for just PR, just to drive awareness and ratings for the show. In fact, Kim wanted her goodbye to Humphries to be on the show, but producers were like, it's a little much. These days, Humphries wants nothing to do with the family and has asked to be completely omitted from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Sorry dude, wish you all the best away from this circus. This is probably one of the worst kept secrets, but it's worth mentioning. So easily one of the most controversial moments in the Kardashian saga is the release of Kim's intimate tape with Ray J. When the tape was first leaked, Kim sued the company to keep it out of the public eye. But a lot of folks have pointed out that Kim has made an impressive $5 million from the home movie. And it's possible that this leak was a publicity move. In fact, Ray J himself said it was Kim's mom, Kris, who actually released the tape. A lot of people believe the release by Kris was meant to drive attention to the family, and it worked. Only 6 months after the tape was leaked, Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered with strong viewership. For her part, Kris did do a lie detector test on The Late Late Show with James Corden and said she had nothing to do with the leak. But like, who's gonna trust a lie detector test on a talk show? Also, who trusts James Corden? As one might expect from a reality TV show these days. Yes, I've already said it, not everything you see is real. And a lot of the events on Keeping Up with the Kardashians were staged, including Kourtney's vicious vocal battles with Scott. It's just bonkers. According to the New York Daily News, once the camera stopped rolling, the duo would laugh about the filmed fights and the drama, and they would discuss how it would drive viewership up. That being said, it's also been revealed that Scott has faced serious addictions, leading some folks to wonder if the fights on the show were real, they were scripted, they were a mixture of both, just playing off of the original fights. The assumptions made were, well, maybe the fights being fake was a cover-up for how serious the issues were in the relationship. Regardless, there's no denying the tension these fights created among fans of the show. The duo ended up splitting for good in 2015, and Kourtney is now married to the famous musician Travis Barker. I guess we'll just never know what's real, what's calculated with the Kardashian family.